This conference will now be recorded.
Great. Once again, good evening, good morning. This is Satish. Um, a quick introduction about me. I have close to 15 years of experience across the software development lifecycle, uh, from the testing, performance engineering, development, product development. So I pretty much worked across the software development lifecycle, and I'm been doing this software training for the last 2.5 3 years, for DevOps, for performance engineering, performance testing tool like K6, Linux, and few more associated with the performance areas. Right. So this course, uh, performance testing using K6, we have tailored this course more for beginners and intermediate, um, because based on our experience, and still the K6 is still evolving. It is still not on par with the tools like Jmeter, but um, it is fast evolving. Right, K6 is catching up in the market very fast. Um, uh, you cannot compare K6 with Jmeter or LoadRunner currently, but because of couple of important aspect of K6, it has been now rapidly picking up in the market. Right? There are a couple of reasons for that. One, it is kind of a developer friendly tool. Um, these scripts are written in the JavaScript, so it is little closer to developer. That's one of the reason. But it doesn't mean that you need a code Java or JavaScript knowledge for writing scripts, right? Uh, though LoadRunner also is based on C, Jmeter is based on Java, right? Hardly we go and write code. We do the coding in those tools, right? For string handling or some custom logic, we still go and write C logic in LoadRunner without even knowing the C language. Right? When that is pretty much the scope of our scripting in LoadRunner, it doesn't require you to be a C specialist. Similarly, here as well, you don't need to be a JavaScript expert. We are going to use a lot of template. We're going to use certain things which are going to be always not going to change irrespective of the project which are going to work. So you don't need to be a programmer or developer really to go and do a scripting in K6. But still, since it's a JavaScript, it is getting popular among developers. Second is for microservices, for API based application. This is K6 is very efficient, effective compared to Jmeter in terms of script development, in terms of execution, especially when it comes to the capacity of the load generator. K6 is highly scalable, being a lightweight, very less dependency on libraries. K6 can run very much more than three times or four times less than the capacity of a Jmeter. Right? If you need 10 machine for Jmeter, you might just need maybe a 6 machine or 7 machine maximum. There's another advantage when it comes to infrastructure that you might be using for the load generator. Right? And the K6 is acquired by Grafana 2 years back. Right? So Grafana is very popular monitoring tool, open source monitoring tool. And since Grafana acquired K6, it even more become relevant when it comes to performance testing. Right? So because of all these reasons, it is becoming very popular. Before this, you always have Jmeter as one-on-one open source tool, a very much popular tool. Even though there's a Gatling is there, uh, there has been other few tools in the market, but none of these tools can able to catch up Jmeter at all, right? Because of the uh, kind of support, community support, and then the way the Jmeter, even though it is not user friendly, but it is still more of a monopoly when it comes to open source. But the last 2 years, K6 could able to, definitely it is not going to reach the Jmeter level, but it is definitely giving a very good competition when it comes to API microservice level testing executions. Okay. So why should I learn K6? When if you are going to be using K6 in your project, or if you anticipate that K6 will be part of your project, definitely it is something, it is a no-brainer to learn K6. But as an alternate to Jmeter, or if you are starting a performance testing career, and in that way, K6, especially for microservices API, it is going to be very, very easy to learn and implement. And since it is, I mean, almost on the rise, getting very much popular, it is always good to learn some of these new tools to keep yourself updated, up to date in the market. Right? What I'll do is next 5-10 minutes, I'll go over the topics which we are going to cover. Okay. I think you might have already seen this in the website. I'll just quickly go over. We will start with probably tomorrow. There are people who are interested who are to join this course. In fact, few people have already registered. They are little new to performance testing. They haven't used a lot of tools. So we'll start at least one session from a testing concepts, right? Getting our basics proper in terms of performance testing, what is NFT, web traffic, HTTP, HTTPS, HTTP methods, return codes. Our life cycle is going to be there for performance testing. Web versus API, how different it is going to be from a performance testing approach perspective. And then comparative analysis of commercial and open source tool. More from a concepts and introduction, we will have one session on performance testing concepts. Okay. And then we will directly jump out to K6. We will look into K6 installation. What are the various components of K6? We will try to compare K6 with LoadRunner or Jmeter to more from a component perspective, the way these components are going to work, so that you will be able to easily compare. I'm doing this in LoadRunner, I'm doing parameterization, or I'm doing a correlation, I'm doing an error handling, I'm going to execute, I'm going to analyze. I have these components which I already know in LoadRunner. So what is there in K6? We'll try to understand K6 comparing with Jmeter or LoadRunner. Right? We'll go and install the visual code. We'll go and look into other plugins, browser extension, all that is required for you to do an hands-on. We will study from an introduction to K6. Okay, and from a scripting perspective, from to do all these hands-on like parameterization, correlation, error handling. See, any tool you take it, right? You might be using Gatling or LoadRunner or Jmeter. The concepts are still going to be there. That's why it will be easy for you to scale from one tool to another tool. Any tool you take it, you have to do the recording, or you have to create your custom script for microservices or APIs. You have to enhance it, you have to parameterize it, you have to correlate it, you have to do the error handling, you have to make sure that you get the response time for your transactions, your think time, pacing, ramp up, ramp down duration. All these things are going to be common irrespective of which tool you're going to use it, right? So we'll always try to stick on to this when we learn K6 as well. Okay, so from a hands-on perspective, we'll use couple of application. Okay, one for microservices or API, we will use this pet store Swagger document. Swagger is a API documentation, right? Most of the projects, they will document all the APIs. It will get auto documented in this Swagger kind of a document, right? Where it will have all your methods, all your functionalities, associated methods. This is a
Will it be
somebody
same with
on.
GraphQL? Sorry, it's me. I didn't know where to put my hand up. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. What is your question?
I wanted to ask you, will it be same with GraphQL API queries as well? Like you're showing us Swagger, right? Will it be the similar with GraphQL as well?
It will be a little different for GraphQL. So which underlying GraphQL, what component it is going to be? This is the more of a JSON based web API call, right? For GraphQL, is it for your database interaction? Probably you can explain me the architecture. Maybe last 10 minutes we'll have a Q&A. Okay.
Sure.
So you can explain me your requirement. I can definitely answer you.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, so this we will use it for our scripting and execution, or your parameterization correlation for a microservices for an API based. So we'll start with the API microservices script development. Okay, we'll go and see how to use both K6 Cloud and your creating scripts on-prem within your machine itself from Visual Code, how to create the scripts for your microservices. We'll go and do the development, we'll do parameterization, we'll do correlation, we'll do error handling, adding headers. So everything with respect to script development of microservices with this Swagger as an pet store as an application, as an API application, we will be able to go and do this. Right? All these methods are going to work. You can execute this put post method from here itself or from Postman, and then we will be able to go and create the scripts in K6. Okay. Similarly, for UI, again, we will try to use couple of application. One would be my own application that is I have hosted in my local. I will also provide you the instruction how to install this e-library application in your machine. It's a very simple Java application with MySQL. So I'll provide you the WAR file. I'll provide you the instruction how to set it up in your machine. It's going to be very straightforward. Okay, so this way you'll use it. We'll also try to use, there's a website available for Isha Training.com, site which is designed for your scripting and your correlation, practicing all these things. We'll use that web application as well. Okay. There is a site from K6 earlier. For some reason, it is not working for the last couple of weeks, but I'll try to see whether we can use that as an e-commerce application. Okay. So we'll use couple of web application for our and so on. One definitely the e-library application, which is running in my local Tomcat. I'll also provide you this the Tomcat as well as the WAR file, which you can deploy it in your own local. Okay, so UI as well. Again, if you see here, you will have a K6 browser recorder through which you will be able to record your traffic. We'll learn how to record, how to install this extension, how to record and playback. Again, how to customize it from a parameterization perspective. The correlation is going to be a little different when it comes to API versus UI. The correlation is going to be different. So error handling, all these things we will do an hands-on from my UI as well. Okay, and then from a monitoring perspective, we will what we'll do is we'll learn AppDynamics as an application performance monitoring tool, and Dynatrace. So what we will be doing is the e-library application which is running in my machine. We'll configure this with AppDynamics and Dynatrace. So when you do a load test, when you do an execution from K6 against this e-library application, you'll be able to monitor all your heap, your thread, all the transaction response time. So all these important GC, garbage collection time, all these things you'll be able to monitor it in your tool like AppDynamics, your APM tool like AppDynamics and Dynatrace. So we'll go and learn how to configure AppDynamics. We'll also go and monitor all the vitals, performance vital in the APM tool. So not only from a testing perspective, you execute your K6, and then for the same application, you go and monitor it as well. So in a real-time project, however you're going to do it, the same thing we will try to replicate and learned here as well. Right? From an execution perspective, we will learn how to create scenarios. See, it's a little different from LoadRunner if you're already using it, right? LoadRunner, you will have a separate UI to go and create your scenarios. But in here, everything is going to be within the script itself. Within one single script, you will have everything, your script as well as your scenarios, which means your duration, your ramp up, ramp down, user count, all these things you will give it in the script itself. I'll explain through this, all these things when we go into the introduction to the K6. Whatever you're seeing is a visual code, which is an IDE for you to create the scripts. Unlike Jmeter, unlike LoadRunner, K6 don't have it's separate thick client. We'll use the Microsoft Visual Code for creating the scripts. And again, it's very simple visual code as well. You will be able to download and install it in your machine. It's very easy. I have the visual code, K6, everything available as a software in the drive. If I go to the my drive, you will find all the softwares available for you to download. Right? I'll give you access to this drive once you enroll. You will get an access to the K6 drive, where all the scripts, scenarios, results, softwares, everything will be available for you to download to your local. Okay, let it open. I think it is little slow. Let it open. Yeah. If you see here, you have softwares. You have you have softwares, script, some of the handbook. All these things are going to be available for your consumption. Okay. So coming back to the your topic. So from an execution perspective, we will learn how to create scenarios, how to set up the scenarios in the local, and also we will try to go and learn how to set up your K6 cloud account in Grafana. Okay, how to execute it in the cloud. See, the one of the little disadvantage of K6 is unlike LoadRunner, you will not have a UI to go and do an execution and monitoring. Okay, you have to do it in command line. If you're going to use your own missions, you have to do it completely command line. Okay, or if you're going to subscribe to K6 Grafana, you can use the cloud. They will provide you the UI to create scenarios, monitor the results, everything. So we'll learn both executing in the through command line from your mission. We'll also try to learn how to use the Grafana K6 for your execution and monitoring as well. Okay, just 1 second. I think my mission got stuck for some reason. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I'll try to share the screen again. Okay, yeah. So we'll use both. This is the cloud account, what I was talking about, right? So we will use the app.k6 for the cloud-based scripting and execution. You can in fact create or modify the script here as well here itself, and you will be able to do execution in K6 Cloud. Okay, and K6 is also, since I told you K6 has been acquired by Grafana, right? So you'll also be able to create your account in Grafana. Grafana being a open source plus commercial, it offers you some for your learning, for some your POC, your hands-on. You can create account in Grafana, and then you will be able to go and create scripts and execute some 50 user tests easily using your account in Grafana. Okay, so we learn both execution through your Cases Cloud and as well as your local. Okay, and from a result analysis and reporting as well. Um, in cloud, there's going to be a different kind of a report that is going to be available. We will look into it. And in the when you're going to run it in the command line, you have option to get it in the HTML report. You will also be able to go and send the data to InfluxDB and Grafana, offline Grafana, right? Your own Grafana installed in the machine. So we'll install InfluxDB, we'll install Grafana, and then monitor your test using InfluxDB and Grafana. Because as I told, K6 standalone doesn't have its own UI to monitor your test. So we'll see how to use open source Grafana to monitor your test in the your local. Plus, same thing we'll do it in the K6 cloud as well, so that you know how to use it without cloud and with cloud. Okay, so all these things are more from a analysis and reporting. Okay, and from as I was saying, right, from an APM tool perspective, we will monitor the web application using Dynatrace and AppDynamics, like your garbage collection time, GCCPU, your thread consumption, heap consumption, database calls, remote API calls. All these things we will monitor using the tools, APM tool like your AppDynamics. Okay. Additionally, we'll also go and look into from K6 perspective, right? There are going to be some of the additional libraries, plugins that you will be using it. For example, your end user experience, right? Whatever we do from load testing, it's completely on a server side performance, right? But your client side performance is also equally important for your web application. So we'll try to go and learn what is client side performance, what are the client side metrics, why it is important, how to use a developer tool, and then how to capture the metrics like your first time to paint or your load time using K6 itself. Okay, K6 have some additional plugins libraries through which you can go and create UI based script, and then you will be able to go and execute the script and then get your client side metrics like your load time, your time to first point, etc. Okay, so that also very, very important from today's market, and we learned that as well. Okay, and from some additional topics like K6 integration with Influx and Grafana, how to convert the Swagger to APIs, some of the JavaScript basics you should know, because we are not going to be a JavaScript developer, but for you to create these scripts through JavaScript, we'll go and look into a couple of important libraries, functions for JavaScript. Okay. Finally, since GenAI, ChatGPT is something very, very buzzword everywhere, right? We'll try to go and look into some of the concepts. What is LLM? What is prompt engineering? What are the various performance testing use cases for using ChatGPT or LLM? And then how can we use it for creating your Jmeter or K6 scripts? So those area which is very, very new and very, very as I said, it's very buzz everywhere, right? So you'll be definitely ask in a lot of projects, you'll be getting an ask how to use LLM, how to use GenAI for creating your API scripts or creating your Jmeter scripts or cases scripts. So we'll go and learn how to answer those questions, what is going to be our approach, how easy it is going to create it, but what are the various challenges around it. That as well, we will go and learn as a introduction to your prompt engineering and ChatGPT. Okay, so all this is what we are going to learn in the next 12 to 14 sessions, which is planned from tomorrow. And as informed, sessions are going to be between 9, it's the same time between 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. Okay, and as I was mentioning you, the way we are going to learn is we are going to do an hands-on every topic, because there's nothing to from a theoretical perspective. Everything is going to be practical hands-on. You can, whatever I do, you'll be able to do it on your own next day or over the weekend. You will be able to practice it. You can install whatever softwares I'm going to use it. It's available in the drive, as I told, in the Google Drive. You will be able to go and download it and then use it. Right? I'll just try to see whether the drive is accessible, because when I went to drive it was not working. Let me go to that one more time. Yeah. So if you see all the scripts, what we are using it, right, for validation, correlation, end user experience, parameterization, all these things will be available for you to reuse it, or for you to practice it. From a software perspective, you will see that your InfluxDB, Grafana, K6, Tomcat, Visual Code, all these things you can download it from the drive directly, or you can download it from the internet also. It's up to you, right? If you want to get it from a drive, I'll provide access, and then you can set it up all these things. I'll also tell you how to set up these things when we get into these sessions. Okay. So which means, yeah, you'll be able to install all these things, like whatever I do in the in the session, you will be able to practice by yourself. Okay, very basic thing that is required is you need K6 for sure, right? That's what you're going to learn and practice, right? So K6, you will be able to go and K6 will be a very simple installation. Okay, I'll provide you this MSI. You double click it. Within a minute, you will this will get installed. Okay, and then Visual Code, again, it's an IDE. Well, even this will not take more than probably 30-40 seconds. Okay. Once you get the Visual Code opened, this is a very sample script, right? What I have it in my mission now, a demo script, right? So you should be able to go to your folder. I'm just saying how to use Visual Code, right? You'll be able to go to your folder, and then wherever you're going to store your K6 scripts, right? You will be able to go and open it. I'll go and open the file. Open the file, demo script.js. Everything will be .js. Right? Your K6 script will get opened. Okay, and from the here itself, you'll be able to go and execute as well in the terminal. If you go to the terminal, I'll again repeat this again when we go into the actual K6 introduction and configuration. But more for your understanding, I'm just saying we will be using Visual Code. We'll not, there's no separate UI like LoadRunner, like your Vuegen. There's no Vuegen here. Like your Jmeter.jar, Apache Jmeter.jar, there's nothing for here. You will use a Visual Code for opening the script, creating the script, executing it. Everything will happen over the Visual Code only. Okay, so from terminal, you will be able to go to your folder where K6's scripts are there, and from there you will be able to K6 run, right? K6 run is a command to execute your K6 scripts. So the script will get, you'll be able to debug it. You'll be able to run for multiple iteration to check whether everything is working. Everything you'll do it in this IDE only, right? Very simple, very straightforward, no complication. Whatever you're going to do, we are going to modify it here and then execute it here. That's it, right? Yeah, so you need K6, you need Visual Code. Those are the two mandatory things. And for your API microservices, it is going to be completely internet-based pet store application. And for your web application, you would need this Java Tomcat, which I will tell you how to use it, install it later. and you would need Influx and Grafana for your live monitoring of your test results. That is also, I'll explain you how to do it a little later. Okay, so which means day one you just need to have K6 and Visual Code. That's it. Okay, nothing else you need to get started with your hands-on. Okay, so what we will do tomorrow is probably before going to performance testing concepts, we'll just go and set up all these things and validate everything to ensure that you have everything for your hands-on. Downloading, installing K6, installing and configuring VS Code, validating the K6, setting up K6 cloud account, creating new project, installing the browser plugin, recording and validating it, executing in the local, executing in the cloud, setting up Influx and Grafana. Everything we'll do it tomorrow, so that you will have a hands-on ready, right? You will have everything ready for your hands-on. With this, we'll do it tomorrow. And then we'll go into the performance testing concepts on day 2, because some of them are very new to the performance testing itself. So we'll go and explain what is microservices, what is HTTP return code, what are the various methods, how the web traffic works. So these main concepts, we'll explain them in the day 2. And then we'll get into the K6 scripting and other topics. Okay, I'll pass it here. Okay, if you guys have any question, put it in the chat, or you can also unmute and ask the question as well. I think one of you have been asking about the GraphQL, right? Yeah, can you please explain the GraphQL thing? Yeah, please.
Basically, it's the interaction with the backend database, but it runs it runs with mutation and queries. That's what I understood. So if I'm commuting with the Postman for GraphQL, I use those GraphQL queries or mutation to run the API, whichever is provided. The query or mutation is the API. That's what I was told. That's the API, which has sometimes waits for variables to be provided. And when I provide them on Postman, it works as a request, like get or post request. That's what I understood with, and that's how I'm using right now. And using Cypress API, we use these queries or mutations to run.
Okay.
I don't know how it works with performance. I have no idea how to use this in performance.
Okay. See, it is still going to be an HTTP request, right? But only thing is, it is not going to be a REST API. It is going to be a GraphQL API. So you would be able to still use K6. Jmeter as a support, I know. K6 also technically it should be feasible, definitely. I'll probably cover that as well with some examples. If possible,
Please,
but definitely it is going to be feasible. I'll give you as much of information that you need for the GraphQL as well.
Please. The main reason why I was waiting for this K6 is to understand how to use it with the GraphQL.
Okay. Though it is not part of the session, but I will try to gather the information and then I'll explain you definitely.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
And my next question, along with this, sorry to keep others waiting. I've heard that K6 is only for backend and API performance testing. It's not with UI. Is it correct?
Partially, because the kind of from a UI perspective, for complicated workflows, it is not going to be that easy like your Jmeter or LoadRunner. Technically, you'll be able to use it. But more and more complicated, you might need to write a lot more JavaScript code to achieve certain things. It's possible, but it is going to be a little challenging. That is why for UI based application, still the usage of K6 is very less. API, as you said, rightly said, for APIs, microservices, the backend interaction, yes, K6 is going to be definitely effective. UI, if it's a complicated workflow, yeah, it's not recommended yet. It doesn't have that kind of a inbuilt ready to use functions like that use you have in LoadRunner or Jmeter. You don't have it. Even the record and playback also is not going to be that easy for the complicated workflow in UI. So you're right.
Got that. Yep. Thank you.
So hi, Satish. My name is Lakshmi. I have got this K6 training recordings earlier, so I'm just like attending it again from you. Okay.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
so I'm just taking baby steps in K6 because this are the application in which a company is working right now is JavaScript. So they wanted a very performance enhancing tool that depends on JavaScript. So that's the reason I enrolled for K6. So recently, when I was trying to execute the login page of my application, where the moment I give the username and password, I need the list of flights that load in my application. Okay, so what is the best way to test it? Like when I try to write record, it didn't work using the browser plugin that we have it for the K6. So I somehow took help from another learning tutorials and tried to write the code, and I got the script run. Okay, but when I failed to understand the output of it in the VS Code, because I received a lot of information like checks, data received, data sent. Basically, I wanted to understand what is the output of it and whether we will be able to get it as an email, like a reporting tool for every week or a month.
Okay, so you mentioned two things, right?
Mm.
One is a challenge of recording it using your
Browser
browser
plugin.
plugin.
Yes.
That is one point you told it, and you
Mm.
used some of the support available in the blogs, and you could able to still go and complete the recording and playback. Correct.
Not the recording and
That is
playback. I just wrote the code and tried to execute
uh-huh.
it, and it ran. I got the output where the
Correct.
status said as a status is set as
Mm,
200,
mm,
and I
mm,
was able to
mm,
execute it.
mm.
That is also,
Correct.
again, this is an get API, not the post or the other
Mm, mm,
APIs. This is a get
mm,
API.
mm, 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 mm.
And that's one. And
Yeah.
point number two, I did not understand what is the output that it is showing me. So which one I need to
Okay. Okay.
concentrate upon more and all those things.
Okay. See, you will be learning all these things. The second point you will definitely learning, but the output is depending upon what you have in the script, right? So you mentioned about checks, right? Checks is nothing but a validation. You might have a checks for response code. You might have a check for a response text, right? So whatever you configure in your script or whatever you write in your script as a checks, that is going to appear in the log, right? So that when you debug it or even in the report, you will know that there are 10 checks available in the script. Out of 10, 8 passed or 7 passed. So that is one kind of a interpretation. You will be doing it in the your log. Similarly, for your it will have a response time. It will have response, as you said, right? Number of bytes sent, bytes received.
Mm.
All these things are all more from a network perspective. That is not that relevant for me to look into it, because every API or every get call, post call will have a network transfer, right? There will be 10 KB that will be sent or 20 KB that will be received. We are not going to
That's
keep track
fine.
of it anyway.
Okay, what are, because there are a number of things that displayed like HTTP request blocked, request connecting, duration, failed, receiving, sending, handshaking, waiting, and all those things. So which one I should consider to know that okay, this got executed for these many times and all those things. Yeah, if you look
Okay.
at the
So
screen there.
for this, yeah, that is where your reports are going to come into the picture, right? This is going to be a little difficult for you to look into it. Okay.
Mm.
So there are report plugins available, which through which you will be able to look into this in a better
Okay.
way, easy way. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, if you have my recording already,
Mm.
if you can go and look into the execution and reporting section, right? I would have explained you how to add the report plugin, how to enable it. All these things will
Okay.
be available. Okay.
I
You
haven't
look
been
into
there
it, but I'll
yet.
also cover it. No
Okay.
problem. No
Yeah.
problem.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. But still, I think the log, whatever you're seeing it here, you will
Mm-hmm.
be you need this for more from a debugging perspective, definitely. But from a actual execution, when you do execution, you will not need to look into this. Rather, we will look into the say, for example, here page 1 is home page. Text verification is out of 11 times, everything is passed. This is a false kind of a negative, because what we are, okay, I'll explain it later. Okay, so you're going to have this validations, the status code validation, text verifications. So checks 33.33%, it is passed out of 22. 22 failed and 11 passed. So number of checks, 22 checks failed, which means 22 validation failed in the script. And data received, data sent, these things are not really required to be looking into it. You have HTTP blocked, HTTP connecting, all these things are not required. This HTTP request duration is something, is our response time. But yeah, these things I will explain it later. But yeah, this is how you read your log file.
That's what. That's like actual versus expected.
Right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, you will also be able to go and set your SLAs as well here, right? If you see here, I would have set a SLA somewhere in the target, so that it will also be able to go and compare it against your SLAs. Yeah, I'll probably explain you that in detail when we go into the analysis section.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And meanwhile, since you have a report, since you have my recording already, you can look into it when you get a time. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll cover it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm making use of this session just to clarify my doubts, because I cannot do that on my own.
Yeah, sure. It'll be useful for others as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I have experience in Jmeter. So now I just wanted to change my company. I just wanted to gain a knowledge in K6. So will you recommend it to go for the K6 plus the Jmeter, or how's the demand for the K6, sir?
See, it is purely if you're going to go to a project and you have a liberty of choosing Jmeter or K6, it depends upon a couple of things. If you're already a Jmeter expert, you wanted to continue with Jmeter, right? If I'm a Jmeter expert, I will recommend Jmeter only. Right? I don't want to go and choose a new tool just for the sake of it. Okay, but if there are two drivers. One, if a project team is recommending you to use only K6 because of their tie-up with Grafana. For example, they have a partnership with Grafana and they have purchased a license for Grafana, which means you will be forced to use K6. Okay, number one. In that case, K6 we have to use. We have no choice. But if we have if we need to take a decision on Jmeter or K6, first thing is skill set. Okay, do I have a proper skill set in my team who knows K6 or Jmeter? If you have a Jmeter skill set, then you will choose Jmeter. If you know both, or if you know that your K6 is going to be very powerful for APIs, microservices, and from a load generation capacity perspective, then I will recommend K6 versus in compared Jmeter, only for API microservices. Definitely, right? When it comes to UI, definitely K6 has challenges. You need to spend all the challenges you can overcome. There is nothing that you will not be able to overcome, but you have to spend time. You have to spend a lot of time for your application initially. Then it will be like a BAU. Okay, so to answer your question, it depends upon many things. If your project team asks you to use K6 because they have a Grafana subscription, Grafana license, we don't have a choice. If you are going to make a decision, Jmeter or K6, if you're already very good in Jmeter, if you have other people also available for Jmeter, then you choose Jmeter. And but if it is going to be only microservices or API, as a consultant, you can you should recommend K6 when compared to Jmeter, very specifically from a effectiveness perspective, when it comes to resource consumption perspective, K6 is good than Jmeter purely from that angle. That's how I will deal it.
Yeah, okay, thank you, sir. I got it. So this case is right. So it will be, as you told, it will be from the beginner, like how to collect the SLAs and all, right?
See, that is common, that is what I need to
Okay.
cover it in the performance testing concepts and workload. Irrespective of Jmeter or LoadRunner, yeah, those concepts are going to be same. So we will cover these how to collect the non-functional requirement, the workload, how to define the workload, all these things. Yes, as a concept, you will learn, and you can also ask the questions as well. Though that is going to be limited 1 hour or 2 hour, but you can ask questions. Definitely, I can answer you so that you get enough knowledge.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sure. Any others have any other question?
Yeah, so I had a few questions here. So how many sessions is this course?
The planned is 13, 14, but it always goes more than that. But yeah, more from the planned one, it is 13 to 14 sessions.
Okay, so this course, is it enough to apply the performance testing in some medium-sized projects?
Okay, so you already into performance testing, sir? You know any other tool, or you're new to performance testing?
No, I'm new to performance testing.
Okay. If you are and your background, sir, sorry, what is your background?
A QA, working as a QA.
QA. Okay. See, if you are very new to performance testing, this will be a great kickstart. With this, will we be able to go and work in a project? Yes, but you have to keep learning. It is not going to make you 100% ready to work in a project right away. But I would say definitely 60 to 70%, right? Because this is targeted for beginners for sure, which means it is going to be useful for you. It is for beginners and intermediate. You will be able to definitely go and create scripts, debug it, execute it, do the reporting, everything will be able to do it. But since you are new to performance testing, it is going to take some time depending upon the level of responsibility that you're going to take it, and the complexity around it. You might have to spend more time during a project as you work on. So I would say, to be honest, since you're new to performance testing, after the end of the course, I would say you will be 60 to 70% ready to go and work in a project. But it is going to be case with anything, right? Because since you are new, unless otherwise you complete one project, you will not be 100% always.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want, you can connect with me offline, sir. I can probably spend some more time to understand your requirement, and then recommend, if this is not going to be relevant for you, I can recommend other courses as well, so that you get the right level of upskilling for your career.
Sure.
Sir, just I need some general answers from you, sir. So as a performance tester, right? You know, yeah, is my voice is audible?
Yes, go ahead, very much.
Yeah. So as a performance tester, right? Is it recommended to know both the open source and the commercial thing like a LoadRunner Jmeter, or we can go like a Jmeter K6 and PE? Can we learn cloud performance like that? So for the better future, like what your suggestions are for us, especially
What
for
is your
me?
current skill set, sir? What is your current skill set?
Jmeter. I was a functional tester, so from past 1 year, I'm working as a Jmeter in Jmeter too.
Okay, good. Okay. See, if you wanted to be a out and out performance tester and engineer, from Jmeter to LoadRunner, it is not going to be tough. Okay, concepts are, as I said, but tools are going to be always tool. Your concepts like parameterization, correlation, script handling, error handling, you're going to do same thing everywhere. Only the functions are going to be a little different. UI is going to be different. From your career perspective, I'm honestly saying from your career perspective, if you already know Jmeter, if you're good in Jmeter, always it is good to go and learn one more tool like LoadRunner, one more tool like K6, because your learning curve is not going to be huge. It's going to be very it's going to add a very good bonus point in your resume, right? Without spending too much of effort, you can just go and this all these are tick marks. You can go and say that I have learned K6. I have done an hands-on in K6. I know K6. I have learned LoadRunner. I have done hands-on in LoadRunner. I have experience in Jmeter. That is a very easy and quick way to add additional points to your resume. So if you wanted to switch career, it is good to have LoadRunner or K6 or K6. Without much effort, you will learn it easily since you know Jmeter already. Okay, so P is going to be an extension, or P is going to be a little upgradation, right? You need more time. More time has to be spent to gather knowledge, to do a lot of hands-on, and then to put it on the resume. So quick winners, if you are switching for want to switch for a new job, quick winners, add K6 loader to your resume and an APM tool. We are going to learn if you learn APM tool like AppDynamics or Dynatrace, right? You can also put that in the resume so that it will be your resume will look a little attractive. But in a longer run, performance engineering is something you definitely need to learn so that you are going to be a real differentiator from others. So quick win is adding a couple of tools to your resume, but in the longer run, it is going to be performance engineering.
Okay, thank you.
When I see a resume, if I get a resume, I see you have your work experience in Jmeter, and you also have knowledge and hands-on in LoadRunner and K6, and you also have a knowledge hands-on in say AppDynamics. That is a good resume, right? And then performance engineering, if you're going to have it, that's going to be a premier. That's how I see it as a recruiter.
Okay, yeah, got it. So you also taking a PE course, right? I saw in one message actually.
Yeah, that's a one of the mainstream course in Asia, and I take it every 2 months once.
Okay.
There will be a batch for that.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for the suggestion.
Sure. Okay. Anybody have any other question, guys? Feel free to ask. You can also probably reach out to me maybe offline tomorrow in the daytime. Mutually, whenever we are available, we can connect. If you have any clarification to understand if it is applicable or not for you, feel free to message me. I'll send a message now in the WhatsApp group. My name is Satish. Again, I'll put my number, WhatsApp number. Okay, we can connect offline as well if it's required, or we'll connect tomorrow in the call. At the beginning, also you can probably ask questions. Okay, so any questions related to the course content and the course, you can reach out to me. For anything related to the registration or payment, you can reach out to Kumar sir. Okay, or in the WhatsApp admins. Okay. The recording of this every day will be available next day morning before 11:30 a.m. IST. The recording will be available, and the video recording will be available permanently for you, for your reference, for your practice. The playlist will be available for you ever.
Does the same recording is available in the Udemy access also?
No, see,
because I see a set of videos for 8 hours in Udemy. That's a business account that is given by us, by the company. So when I was searching for K6, I found the list of videos by Isha Training Solutions.
Yes. See, whatever, yeah, that is a pre-recorded video from the earlier sessions, right? From earlier batch.
Okay.
Whatever I'm referring here is today we are having a session. I'm recording it, right? This will be available tomorrow in your YouTube playlist, and that is going to be exclusively available for all the students who are registered. So this will not be available in Udemy. That is a similar session that has happened some 6 months back or 10 months back. That is available in Udemy for your consumption. That is different. In a way, the topics are going to be same, but what I'm talking about now is the today's session or the next 14-15 day session will be available for you permanently.
Okay. Yeah.
Do we need to have Git account for code sharing?
No. All these scripts, all the JavaScripts will be it will be available in the drive itself. So everything will be uploaded here. If you see here and go to the K6 scripts for every parameterization, every correlation, error handling, checks, correlation, end user experience, everything will be available in the folder from which you can download it.
Okay.
Okay, great. I'll stop it here, guys. We'll meet you all tomorrow. Thanks for joining. Any questions, you can still ask the question in the WhatsApp group or first thing in the morning, first thing in the call tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.